Still playing with your pretend internet business? My cousin smirked at Grandma's birthday. When will you get a stable job like mine at the law firm? Next morning, her managing partner called me personally. We need your consulting. I've been following your work for years. Name your price. The question wasn't whether Victoria would survive the humiliation of her boss discovering she mocked his business idol at a family party. It was whether she learn anything from the crater-sized hole she just blown in her legal career. Grandma's 90th birthday party was everything you'd expect from a Southern California family gathering. The country club in Newport Beach gleamed with that specific kind of wealth that pretends it isn't trying too hard. Cousins flew in from everywhere, each armed with stories of their spectacular successes to share over champagne and tiny appetizers that cost more than most people's hourly wage. Victoria found me on the terrace, overlooking the Pacific. She was already 3 mimosas deep, her power suit slightly rumpled from the flight from San Francisco. Ethan. Still hiding from real employment, I see. She air-kissed past my cheek, her perfume aggressive enough to warrant a restraining order. Let me guess, the business is thriving? Good to see you too, Vic. Don't call me Vic. I'm a senior associate now. Whitman, Krensky and Associates. She said it like she expected applause. You probably haven't heard of them. We only handle Fortune 500 clients. Congratulations. It's not luck, it's hard work. Real work. In an actual office. She grabbed another mimosa from a passing server. So what's the internet thing this month? Dropshipping? Crypto? Oh wait, let me guess, you're an influencer now. I create content around productivity and digital transformation. She laughed, the sound sharp enough to etch glass. Content. Is that what we're calling unemployment now? I'm not unemployed. Right. You're an entrepreneur. The air quotes around entrepreneur could have been seen from space. You know what the difference is between you and me? I have a salary. Benefits. A secretary. You have what, a ring light and illusions? Aunt Patricia materialized beside us, keen to show off her daughter. Victoria was just made lead on the Tecton acquisition. $20 million deal. It's actually $30 million, Mom. Victoria preened. But who's counting? Everyone at a law firm, typically, I said. She missed the irony. Exactly. We count real money. Real impact. Not views or likes or whatever monopoly money the internet pays in these days. Victoria works such long hours, Aunt Patricia added. 80-hour weeks. That's dedication. That's insanity, I muttered. That's success, Victoria corrected. Something you'd understand if you had a real career. When was the last time you worked 80 hours on anything? I thought about the previous week, filming, editing, responding to consulting inquiries, developing 3 new course modules, managing my team of editors and researchers. Easily 90 hours, but who was counting? I manage my time differently, I said. You mean you sleep till noon and make TikToks? She turned to address our gathering relatives. Ethan thinks he runs a business. From his apartment. On the internet. It's adorable, really. What kind of business? Uncle Robert asked, genuinely curious. He makes videos, Victoria answered before I could. About productivity. Like anyone needs a video to tell them how to use a calendar. It's a bit more complex than that, I started. Is it though? She was on a roll now, performing for the audience. Let me break down Ethan's empire. He films himself talking about time management, ironic since he has unlimited time. Posts it online. Maybe makes enough from ads to cover his Netflix subscription. Calls himself CEO. Don't all founders call themselves CEO? Cousin Marcus chimed in, trying to defuse. Founders of real companies, yes. Not YouTube channels. Victoria gestured with her glass. You know what happened last week? I billed more hours in 3 days than Ethan probably makes in a month. Real value. Real clients. Real impact on the economy. Billing hours isn't the same as creating value, I said quietly. Spoken like someone who's never seen a real paycheck. She was warming up now. You know what's sad? You're smart. You went to Stanford. You could have been something. Instead, you're playing pretend business while the rest of us build actual careers. Grandma appeared then, tiny but commanding. Victoria, dear, are you boring Ethan with work talk? Just trying to inspire him, Grandma. Someone needs to. Grandma looked at me with those sharp eyes that missed nothing. Ethan seems to be doing fine. He sent me that nice camera setup so we could video chat. Very thoughtful. Anyone can buy a camera, Grandma, Victoria dismissed. It's what you do with your life that matters. Indeed, Grandma said dryly, then moved on to other guests. Victoria wasn't finished. You know what your problem is? You're afraid of real accountability. In my world, if I screw up, real companies lose real money. In your world, what happens? Someone doesn't get their productivity tip of the day? Devastating. You seem very concerned about my career choices, I observed. I'm embarrassed for you. We all are. Aunt Helen asks about you, and what do we say? Oh, Ethan? He's online. It's humiliating. For whom? For the family. The Hartley name used to mean something. Lawyers, doctors, real estate developers. Now we have you, teaching people how to use Google Calendar for $19.99. My courses are actually. Whatever they cost, it's too much. She pulled out her phone. Look at this. My LinkedIn. See those recommendations? Federal judges. CEOs. Partners at major firms. That's a network. That's a future. What's your LinkedIn? Let me guess, other YouTubers and life coaches? I thought about my actual network, Fortune 500 CEOs who paid 5 figures for single consulting sessions, productivity experts who collaborated on million-dollar corporate training programs, the quiet investments in tech startups that my content revenue enabled. But explaining felt like pearls before swine. Different paths, I said instead. No. One path, one dead end. She noticed my water. Can't even afford champagne? Jesus, Ethan. Do you need money? I can loan you some. I know times are tough in the gig economy. I'm fine. Are you? Because from where I'm standing, you're 32, playing with cameras, calling it a business. In 5 years, I'll be partner. In 5 years, you'll be, what? Still hoping for viral videos? The party continued around us, relatives carefully avoiding our corner of tension. Victoria held court for another hour, regaling anyone who'd listen with stories of depositions and billable hours, each anecdote somehow circling back to my pretend internet business. By the time I left, she'd convinced half the family I was one step from homelessness, surviving on ad revenue and denial. The call came at 7:47 a.m. the next morning. I was already up, scripting a video about decision fatigue in corporate environments. The number was unfamiliar, but the area code was San Francisco. Ethan Hartley? Yes? This is Richard Krensky, managing partner at Whitman, Krensky & Associates. I apologize for the early call, but I've been trying to reach you for months through your business channels. Your team is very protective. They were. My assistant filtered thousands of requests monthly, protecting my time from exactly these kinds of cold calls. Usually. How did you get this number? Your cousin mentioned you were family at a partner's dinner last night. I nearly fell out of my chair. We've been following your work for 2 years. Your video series on digital transformation literally changed how we run our firm. I set down my coffee carefully. You watch my content? Watch it? We've built our entire remote work policy around your frameworks. Your productivity principles are required viewing for new associates. Hell, I've personally implemented your deep work protocols and tripled my effectiveness. I see. No, I don't think you do. We need you. Not your courses, you. In person. Full digital transformation consulting. We're talking about restructuring a 500 attorney firm based on your methodologies. That's quite an undertaking. Which is why we need the source, not interpreters. I've watched every video, bought every course. But we need custom solutions. Name your price, and before you throw out a number, know that we bill $800 an hour and consider you worth more. I typically work with tech companies. Law is the next frontier. We're dinosaurs trying to evolve before the asteroid hits. Your content about legacy industries adapting to digital realities? That's us. We need that expertise. When are you thinking? Today, if possible. This week certainly. 6-month initial engagement, renewable. Full access to our operations, carte blanche on recommendations. We're prepared to pay mid-6 figures for the engagement, plus performance bonuses. I glanced at my calendar. 2 course launches this week, a speaking engagement in Austin, 3 corporate consultations already booked. I can give you a preliminary assessment meeting Thursday. Perfect. Whatever your day rate, we'll pay it. And Mr. Hartley? Don't let your team filter this out. This is my personal cell. We need you. After we hung up, I sat in my home office, the one Victoria assumed was a bedroom corner with a ring light. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Marina del Rey. 3 monitors displayed analytics that would make her billable hours look like a lemonade stand revenue. The irony was delicious. Victoria's firm, the symbol of her real career, desperately needed the expertise she'd mocked 12 hours earlier. I called my assistant. Clear Thursday afternoon. And pull everything we have on traditional law firm structures. We're going fishing in new waters. The law firm that's been calling? The very same. Oh, and Sarah? When we invoice them, make sure it goes to their senior associates too. Educational purposes. She laughed. You're evil. I'm thorough. Thursday arrived with coastal fog and nervous energy at Whitman, Krensky & Associates. Their offices occupied 3 floors of a financial district high-rise, all dark wood and desperate tradition. I dressed carefully, not the suit they'd expect, but not the hoodie they'd fear. Business casual that said I didn't need to impress them, they needed to impress me. Richard Krensky met me personally in the lobby. 60-something, silver-haired, with the kind of presence that billed 4 figures hourly. Ethan, I can't tell you how excited we are. The whole partnership watched your series on institutional transformation. Game-changing. Thank you. I'm interested to see how it applies to legal structures. That's what we need to find out. Conference rooms this way. I've assembled the key partners, department heads, and some senior associates who've been pushing for modernization. The conference room was a monument to traditional power, leather, mahogany, portraits of long-dead partners. Around the table sat 20 of the firm's top brass, all trying to look open-minded about digital transformation. And there, at the far end, sat Victoria. She'd gone pale, then red, then a color that didn't exist in nature. Her legal pad trembled slightly in her manicured grip. "Everyone, this is Ethan Hartley," Richard announced. "If you don't know his work, you're already behind. He's the mind behind Digital Evolution Dynamics, the productivity framework that's revolutionized how modern businesses operate." "We've actually met," I said mildly, looking at Victoria. "Family connection." Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. No sound emerged. "Excellent." Richard beamed. "Victoria, you didn't mention your cousin was the Ethan Hartley. We've been trying to book him for months." "I didn't realize." She managed. "No matter. Let's begin. Ethan, the floor is yours." For the next 2 hours, I dissected their operational inefficiencies with surgical precision. Their billing model, the very thing Victoria took such pride in, was hemorrhaging value. Their communication systems belonged in a museum. Their talent management was driving away their best minds in favor of those who could endure suffering. "Your associates are billing 80-hour weeks not because the work demands it, but because your systems are archaic," I explained. "You're mistaking suffering for productivity. This isn't dedication, it's waste." "But that's how we've always," one partner started. "And that's why your competitors are eating your lunch. McKenna Law implemented my framework 6 months ago. They're doing the same work in half the time at twice the profitability. Your tradition is becoming your tombstone." Victoria sank lower in her seat with each revelation. Her entire worldview, the superiority of traditional business, the nobility of endless hours, the legitimacy of her real career, crumbling like ancient parchment. "The solutions are straightforward but require courage," I continued. "Full digital transformation, workflow automation, asynchronous communication protocols. And most importantly, a complete restructuring of how you measure value. Hours billed as a factory metric. Your knowledge workers." "This would revolutionize everything," Richard said, energized. "That's the point. What would implementation look like?" I pulled up my tablet. 6-month engagement. "I'll embed with your teams, design custom solutions, train your people. Fair warning, it won't be comfortable. Sacred cows will be slaughtered." "Whatever it takes," Richard said. "Victoria, you've been pushing for modernization. You'll liaison with Ethan." She looked like she'd been asked to liaison with a firing squad. Of course." "Excellent. Ethan, what's your fee structure?" I quoted a number that made several partners blink. "Per month. Plus performance bonuses tied to efficiency gains. Plus intellectual property rights to any frameworks developed specifically for them." "Done," Richard said without hesitation. "When can you start?" "Monday. I'll need full access, systems, personnel, financials. And I'll need honesty. If we're going to transform this firm, we can't hide behind tradition or ego." "Understood. Victoria will get you everything you need." After the meeting, Victoria caught me at the elevator. "Ethan, Monday morning, 9 a.m., I said. "Bring me everything about your current workflows." "And Victoria? That real job you're so proud of? It exists because people like me imagine better ways of doing things. See you Monday." The elevator doors closed on her stricken face. That night, my phone exploded with family texts. Apparently, Victoria had called Aunt Patricia in tears, confessing that her unemployed cousin with the pretend internet business was being paid more for 6 months of consulting than she'd make in 3 years of billing hours. Grandma called personally. "You could have told her at the party. Where's the lesson in that?" She laughed, that knowing sound of someone who'd seen enough birthdays to appreciate good comeuppance. "You always were the smart one. But be kind. Humiliation teaches, but humility transforms." "I'll be professional. You'll be family. There's a difference." She was right, as always. Over the next 6 months, I worked closely with Victoria. Watched her worldview expand. Saw her realize that real work wasn't about where you sat or what you wore, but the value you created. She became one of my strongest advocates at the firm, pushing changes that doubled their efficiency while improving work-life balance. The firm thrived. My frameworks became industry standard. Victoria made partner 2 years early, not through grinding hours but by championing innovations that transformed legal practice. At Grandma's 91st birthday, Victoria found me again on the same terrace. "I owe you an apology," she said simply. "And a thank you. For showing me that pretend businesses can change real industries. That YouTube videos can revolutionize law firms. That maybe, just maybe, I didn't know everything. You were protecting what you knew. I was scared. You were building the future while I was defending the past." She smiled ruefully. "I tell everyone now, my cousin's internet business saved my career. Your openness to change saved your career. I just provided tools. Tools you created in your apartment. On the internet. Without a real office." She shook her head. "I was such an ass. You were traditional. Same thing, in this economy." She raised her champagne, real champagne this time, not defensive mimosas. "To pretend internet businesses. To real transformations," I countered. We toasted as the Pacific sunset painted the sky, two cousins who'd learned that success comes in many forms. Some wear suits and bill hours. Others wear hoodies and change the world. Both are real. Both matter. But only one scales infinitely.